In the martial arts, there are several golden principles of combat. One of them is on top wins. What is on top wins? Well, Sean and I are going to go through some of the techniques on how this principle works.
The Golden Principles of Combat, on top wins. Brought to you by Epoch Martial Arts. What is the on top wins principle? Martial arts expert Scott Gehring explains.
Hi, this is Scott Gehring with Epoch Martial Arts. This is my colleague Sean Morrissey. Today we're going to talk to you about a principle of fighting called on top wins. On top wins is a principle in self-defense that really illustrates what it says, meaning anyone who's on top has a more dominant position. The principle of on top wins can be illustrated by a simple kid's game. When I put my hand here, he's going to put his hand on top. Now, he's on top of me. Well, guess what? Now I'm on top of him. Now he's on top of me. And this game is something you'll see kids play. Guess what? Who wins this fight? Whoever happens to be on top.
Stage 1. Lapel grab. Same side and cross body.
To start illustrating the principle of on top wins, we're going to start with a simple lapel grab. When I go to grab Sean here, right now I'm on top of Sean. If you notice, I'm on top, just doing a basic lapel grab. My hand is on top of him, which means I got a dominant position. When someone lapel grabs you, they're controlling you. They're stealing your freedom of movement. To neutralize this dominant position, you want to get on top. So Sean, boom, now he's on top. Okay, so the principle of on top wins is who's ever on top has the dominant position. There we go, that's our first step of on top wins. Now there's two ways of getting on top. I can get on top the same side, there's my hand here, or I can get on top cross body. So I have same side, on top cross body. Doesn't really matter which one you do, only matters because it sets up a different follow-up depending on which one you do.
Stage 2. Grab variation drill.
Now we can progress this drill by simply just playing a little game. I'm going to grab Sean any way I want, and he's just going to simply nullify the grab by getting on top. How many ways can I grab Sean? There's only one solution to the grab, and that is on top wins. Doesn't matter how I grab him. I can grab him on the hand. On top wins. Grab him on the wrist. On top wins. Grab him on this wrist. On top wins. Grab him on the shirt. On top wins. Grab him by the hip. On top win. All right. So be creative in how many grabs you can do, but there's only one follow-up technique for a grab. On top wins. Here, look. And then.
Stage 3. Adding a follow-up.
Now on top wins in and of itself. Just getting on top is not going to end the fight. But what it does is establishes your opportunity for follow-up. For the purpose of this drill, we're going to use an eye jab. Ooh, beautiful. See what Sean did? I grabbed him. He went on top. He nullified the control. And now he was able to eye jab. If he just went and eye jabbed without going on top, he didn't nullify it. At this point, we're just trading blows. So one of the things we want to try to reduce is the ability for a person to trade blows with us. So by getting on top, and now that tool is gone. It's been nullified. Same side, eye jab. Cross body. Boom! Eye jab. Boom! Nice.
Stage 4. 360-degree combat.
Notice everything we're doing is from the front. Everything's from the front. The reality of combat is 360. 360, meaning front, side to side, and rear. So the same principle applies with on top wins.
Notice the different angles. From the rear. From the side. From the other side. From the rear again. To the inside. Hicks Law.
There's a principle in martial arts called Hicks Law. Hicks Law states that the more choices you have at any given moment, the more risk you have of paralysis for analysis. So let me give you an example. So if I have a technique for a wrist lapel grab, and I have to do this, there's one technique, and I got to grab on the wrist here. Well, now here's another technique here, and then I got this grab here, and now I got another technique here. That's too much for me to remember. And it can take like 20 or 30 years to get good. So there's a term called Hicks Law compliance, in which we want to reduce the amount of choices we have at any given moment. And the principle of on top wins reduces your choices. So in every one of those situations, I got a lapel grab this way, I'm on top. Now I can do my technique. All right, if I got a double lapel, well, I'm still on top, and I can do a technique. If he grabs my wrist, well, I'm on top, and I can do my technique. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm getting on top, and I'm letting him choose what happens to him based on how he moves.
Stage 5. On top wins against punches.
On top wins principle is not limited to grabs. We can progress this to punches. Here's what I did. The punch came in, I get hands to center, on top. So in this case, the punch is coming, I get my hands up, and I just fall on it. Boom! And there's my hand on top wins principle in play right there. He goes to put his hands on me, on top wins. I know his head will come right there. I can slap him, put a punch. It doesn't, the tool's irrelevant. It's the principle that's important. This one here, vicious little shot. Another one called a slide. See how that slides? It just slides. Okay, so rather than up, down on top, I'm going to slide on top. See the slide? It slides. See the slide? And you can play with different moves. On top wins. Alright, notice the on tops there. On top is on top. Went underneath to then get back on top again. Okay? As long as I'm on top, I have an advantage. Okay? If I'm underneath, he's got the advantage. It's just a basic principle of combat. The guy on top of the hill is fighting down the guy at the bottom of the hill. He's got an advantage. It's gravity. This way I went on top wins and then hit. On top win and hit. Okay, I'm on top.
Stage 6. Attack by combination.
As with anything in the martial arts, we always work in a progression. So we start out with the basic on top wins principle, where you put your hand on top of his hand. Started off grabs. Most of the attacks we did were single direct. We layered in different angles, 360 awareness. Now we're going to add in attack by combination. So how do we do attack by combination? Well, the technique has to change. The principle's still the same. You get on top. Notice what happened there. I got on top. This tool is now nullified. He goes to fire the backup weapon, and I take the arm. That nullifies that. So in essence, within one beat, I nullify, rather than the eye jab, which can cause some problems for me in this case, I'm actually nullifying the arm. If I go cross body, I nullify the arm to neutralize that backup. If I go same side, I have to nullify the head to neutralize the backup weapon. If I make him look up, try to fire. He can't fire, or at least that effectively. So I've neutralized the attack by way of head move. Boom! That's how that works.
Moral of the story.
The moral of the story is, on top wins. It's a major principle in fighting. We call it golden rule of combat. Golden rule of combat. All right, I think that's it. All right, that's good. Let's see how it goes.
This concludes the video on the Golden Principles of Combat on Top Wins. For more information, please visit epochmartialarts.com, check out SEF blog, or order the book Strategic Engagement of Force, a field guide for the use of martial arts strategy and tactics. I hope you found this video informative. See you next time. Thank you.